All right, we are live. Is it going good? No? Yes? Maybe so? All right, let me stop the recording. I think the recording is what's messing me up. Yeah, can't do too much at once. Okay. Even on OBS, it's freezing up a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully, it's not too crazy. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, what's here? Let me stop the OBS stream. See if that fixes anything. Yes. That does. All right. I think that fixed it. And let me try to restart it again. Hopefully it doesn't F up. Are we good? Okay. I'm not freezing up. All right. I think maybe OBS was just jacking up a little bit. It looks like I'm not. Okay. All right. Looks like I'm not freezing. All right. All right. What's up? What's going on? What's up, everybody? Everybody! What's going on? What's up, Issa? What's up? What's up, Venom? No. I'm live. But I've been dual streaming lately, and when I first went live on Twitch, it was like freezing up a little bit. Here on OBS, is over here, it was like freezing up. So I stopped it and then I restarted it, and now it seems to be okay. So no, we're not testing anything. We are live. We're doing a stream. I usually don't go live on Mondays, but I'm trying to take this influencer thing a bit more seriously. So I figure we can do some Grimoire talk. Let's talk about some of the Grimoires. I've got the Grimoire Encyclopedia here, and I figure we could talk about the most popular Grimoire. Oh, bet, I got you. I do have a question for you about hoodoo houses. Sure, I can. What do you mean by like an actual group of people who do hoodoo? Is that what you mean, or do you mean like spirit houses? But yeah, please ask your question. I'll do my best to answer it. You want the it's available on Amazon. I got mine on Amazon, but you can also get it from Hadean, I think is the publisher, right? Yes, Hadean is the publisher. But yeah, ask your hoodoo question. Maybe I have an answer. I don't know. We'll see. But let's get started and let's talk about the Key of Solomon, or the Clavicula Solomonis, like actual people houses. I'm curious if most of them accept white practitioners. Honestly, that's up to the house. I've seen, people of all races in different ATR and ADR houses, whether it's hoodoo, voodoo, santeria, kimbanda. I as I said, I have two friends who are white down in South Florida that run their own houses. They used to be part of the House of Gene Kent, who is a legitimate Hunganaswoge from Haiti. He was black, but he initiated Fuchat Nampoint and Brother Moloch, and so and now they both have their own houses. So that's ultimately, it should be up to the spirits, and the spirits usually aren't racial. But you have to still get past the gatekeepers, the people. So unfortunately, you'd have to just reach out and ask those houses that you found and you're looking to maybe join, and see how they feel about it. But ultimately, it should be up to the spirits, not up to any individual people. But we all know how that works, how politics, is with groups and stuff like that. So, hello, Mystic. What's up? What's up, Project? Yes, I am streaming. My friends are streaming right now, so they're like, "Why don't you stream, bro?" I'm like, all right, I'll stream. And I am trying to take this a bit more seriously. Also, website is good to go. My website, the booking stuff is good to go. I got it fixed, right? So when you come here, and which one needs a booking? Let's do 30-minute reading. Needs a booking. This is now fixed. It used to be when you would try to pick your time and date, it would get an error, but I got it fixed. So now you can pick your time and date, and there should be no error for those who, want to book time with me, whether it's a reading or a one-on-one, and it should be fixed and good to go. So, I hate gatekeepers. Yeah, I mean, in some instances, I understand, their necessity, but there are instances where, they let their personal biases get in the way. I'll check with some local houses. Yes, do that. What's up, Armin? What's up? Namaste. What's up, Tapping Point? What's going on? I'm about to start preaching about some grimoires. We're going to talk about the Key of Solomon, the most popular grimoire on the face of the planet. So let's go ahead and get started. We're looking at the Grimoire Encyclopedia. Page 122 is the Key of Solomon entry. Page 122 is the Key of Solomon entry, or the Clavicula Solomonis. And as you can see, there's quite a bit of information here, and it goes on for 2, 3, 4.5 pages. One of the biggest entries in the text. So let's talk about the Clavicula Solomonis. So the date, 15th century. Though there may be earlier manuscripts, there are manuscripts that people have, or that other texts mention going back to the 1200s, right? But who knows? The languages, it's been translated, and not currently, back then, into Latin, Italian, English, French, German, Dutch, Hebrew, and Czech. So that's a pretty popular grimoire to be translated into all those different languages. All good. I made some mistakes the other day. I accidentally used the wrong sigil for Belial. I used Baal instead. So who showed up, or did anybody show up? Respect for boundaries isn't gatekeeping. I don't let people in my house just because they said so. So yeah, yes, exactly. Influences. So what texts influenced the Key of Solomon, right? What is the Key of Solomon based on? What are we reading currently that came prior, right? What is the foundation for the Key of Solomon? Well, it's influenced by the Psalms, as in the biblical book of Psalms. The Sefer HaRazim, I'm not super familiar with that text. I do believe it is an entry in here, but I'm not super familiar with that text. The Hygromanteia, which is aka the magical treatise of Solomon, which is how we know, or not how we know, how we can make the connection, the historical connection of Ashtaroth to Onoskelis, right? I don't see anybody doing that for Ashtaroth to Astarte. People just say it. But it's from the Testament to the Hygromanteia that we can get the Ashtaroth Onoskelis connection. The Elucidation of Necromancy, which is, I think that's on here, actually, because it's written by this guy. This is Joe Peterson's website. Most of these books, he's either written modern day versions or translated. Is it under What's New? Because he wrote it. I have a copy of it. Where is it? Am I going too fast? Did I pass it? Huh. It should be right around here with the Book of Three Souls. Ah, here we go. Why is this like loading slow? I know everyone's streaming right now, but geez. Here we go, right here. The elucidation of necromancy, attributed to Peter of Abano, Petrus de Bano. So yes, the elucidation of necromancy, which is and really an elucidation on the Heptameron. And then, of course, the Heptameron. So those are the texts that the Key of Solomon has been influenced by. So again, that's the book of Psalms, the Sefer HaRazim, the Hygromanteia, the elucidation of necromancy, and the Heptameron. Now, the provenance. Provenance means who wrote it, essentially. Who is the writer of the Key of Solomon? Because it's not Solomon. King Solomon did not write it, right? Any of the grimoires within the Solomonic cycle were not written by King Solomon. They are attributed to Solomon by legend due to the contents of the text, not that Solomon himself wrote it, right? Just like there are texts in like Celtic lore that are attributed to Merlin, although Merlin, whether he existed or not, didn't actually write them himself. So anyway, provenance. With so many manuscripts, it is expected that some of them pass through the hands of well-known figures. Now, it's going to get really academic with a lot of manuscript numbers. I don't know how to skip that since I don't know the titles of these manuscripts. They're all versions of the Key of Solomon, but these are not the only variations here. There's only like 8 here. There's literally over 115. So that's how we know it's the most popular grimoire in magic, occultism, whatever. So it goes on to state that additional manuscript 3674 was owned by the poet Gabriel Harvey, Baron John Summers, and Sir Joseph Jekyll. And then, who I don't know who those men are. Then it goes on to talk about Ebenezer Sibley, I do know who that is, owned at least 3 manuscripts which were sold upon his death to the book dealer John Denley. Now, John Denley employed Frederick Hockley. Anyone who's familiar with any sort of grimoire magic and translations of text should know about Frederick Hockley, to make copies of the manuscript, though how many is unknown. The Aubrey manuscript 24 was owned by the antiquarian John Aubrey, and then blah, blah, blah. It goes on to talk about people in France who owned it, and then it moves into being owned by Papus. If anyone has ever asked me about tarot, how, what's the best book to learn tarot, they'll know that one of my favorite books on tarot is the book by Papus or Papus, however you say his name, Tarot of the Bohemians. So he owned an original copy of the Key of Solomon, and then Francis Irwin. And then he says, mention must be made of Antoine René de Voyer d'Argenson, who collected a number of manuscripts in his huge library of over 100,000 volumes. God damn. If I could have an occult library with 100, I'm thinking what I got right now is crazy. 100,000 is wild. Wild. And it just goes to show you the extent. So it's interesting when people say things like, "Oh, I don't know where to go and get a guy. I don't know where to look." It's not the 1500s anymore. You don't need to find a secret society, right? If one person has over 100,000 occult texts, and that's just one copy of each of those 100,000, that should give you a good gauge of. And that was back when did this guy live? 1860s. So that should give you a good gauge of how many texts we're dealing with in occultism. And then it finally states that the military genius Abraham Colorno translated the Key of Solomon into Italian in the 1530s. And then it goes on to list all the different manuscripts that are associated with the Key of Solomon. I'm not going to read these. It's literally like 118. I'm not going to read them, but I'll show them to you guys. It starts right here. So it starts right here where it says MSS. All of these are different manuscripts. And then all over here are different manuscripts that the Key of Solomon variant comes in. So while Jake Stratton Kent, Joe Peterson did a good job of, I guess, getting the most popular ones right here. These are the most popular versions of the Key of Solomon. They are not the totality, not even close. This is like 2% of what is in the Key of Solomon variant, right? Then it goes on to ask, so the way that this book is set up is it'll give you the title of the text. It'll give you the date that the text either was written, like we know for a fact, or it'll give like spurious dates, like Some say here, some say here, blah, blah, blah. It'll give the languages that it's been translated into. It'll talk about the influences. It'll talk about the authorship. Then it'll go over the manuscripts if there's more than one. And then it'll talk about the circle, the tools, the spirit list, and then it'll get into a description of the text itself. So we just talked about the manuscripts. Is there a circle in the Key of Solomon? Yes, a circle is required. What are the tools found in the Key of Solomon? What's everyone's favorite occult book repository online? This is one of them, mine. This is one of mine right here. My other favorite is Grimoire CZ. Right here. This right here. I just go to browse by keyword and boom, I get all of the keywords, and then the numbers next to them are how many books are in that keyword. So if you're interested in alchemy, there's 100. There's 80 books here. If you're interested in like ancient books on magic and occultism, there's 105. You got ceremonial magic, chaos magic, Christianity, and then obviously the bigger the keyword is, like in size, that means there's more books in there. Obviously, like Crowley has 107, so he's bigger than Eastern Teachings, which only has 69. Right, and then obviously the small ones that you really can't see on my screen only have like 1, 2 books, whatever. But yeah, there's 37 books here on Egypt. Enochian has 69. There's some fiction. There's some German stuff. Golden Dawn, Grimoire, Hermetic. I mean, I'm gonna quote that because I can't promise that everyone in there, every text in there is actually Hermetic. There's some New Age stuff in here, healing techniques, Kabbalah. This is probably my favorite. Probably my favorite. This is probably my favorite. I think there's over 2,000 books on here for free to download. And if you have any that aren't on here, you can upload them. You're able to upload books here as well. You just have to create an account. You can't just do it. You got to create an account and log in, and then you'll be able to upload. But you can browse by keyword, which is what I do. Browse by author, which is, I don't really use this, but if you're interested in it, you can browse by author or title search. I'm never really successful with title search, so I don't ever use it. I just browse by keyword. So this one is one of my favorites, the Esoteric Archives, also called the Twilight Grotto, and Grimoire CZ are my two. I also use, can I say it? The Russian site, I don't even know what it's called. lib.ru? No, something like that. I don't know. But they have good books on there too. But yeah, they don't gatekeep the repositories. No, they can't. I mean, this is a independently owned, this isn't owned by the Golden Dawn. This is owned by some random guy who just happens to like magic. And he wants to give that information out to the world. So good on him. Good on him. All right. Back to Key of Solomon. All right. So yes, there is a circle in the Key of Solomon, and the tools that are required to work with the Key of Solomon. You have the aspergillum, which is anybody who's ever gone to a Catholic church or Catholic school, you should know what that is. The thing to sprinkle holy water. A black-handled knives. One with a sickle blade, which, if I recall correctly, it's the C-shaped blade. It's like hooked. It's like curved. And I think you use it to like cut hay or something. I don't know. A bradawl. I don't know what a bradawl is, but a bradawl is required. Calipers, the pincy things. A flint lighter, a hazel staff, and a hazel wand. Which is interesting because, when you talk to the conspiracy theorists, they'll tell you that the reason Hollywood is named Hollywood is because the witches in ancient times used to make their wands out of Hollywood. And that's not the case. I think the Druids may have done stuff like that only during certain times of the year. Because I know both holly and oak are sort of sacred to them. So I think during certain times of the year, they may have made things out of Hollywood. But that wasn't like all witches did this all over anybody in the world that does magic is using hollies or Hollywood in order to make their wands. I think that was almost exclusively like a Celtic type of a thing. Most witches would use hazel, dogwood, yew, Juniper, I've seen people make wands out of. Mine's made out of not dogwood, bogwood. And funnily enough, mine's Celtic because it has Ogham symbols on it. But it's made out of I think it's called bogwood. But yeah, anyway. So yeah, it's interesting that that one of the most popular grimoires disagrees with as we should expect. Real magic disagrees with nonsense and conspiracy theory. So you also need a white linen cap, a robe, a scimitar or a scimitar, however you say it. I don't know how to say that. Scimitar, whatever. Which is that sword that you would see on Skyrim. Anybody played Skyrim back in the day? The Red Guards, the ninja black guys, they would have scimitars. Like, not if you played them, because if you played them, you would use any weapon you wanted. But if you just met them out and about, if they weren't part of the Imperial Army or whatever, they usually had scimitars. Stockings and underwear, interesting. A trumpet, white gloves, leather shoes, and a white-handled knife. So those are the tools that were required to work through the Key of Solomon. And then it goes through the spirit list. There's a crap ton of spirits here. It goes in alphabetical order A to V. I'm not going to name all of these spirits, but I'll name, because there's a lot, but I'll name a couple. There's spirits in here like Abroyan, Carabiel, Hebe, Ruach, Shekinahim, Eliagaphatel. Interesting, because there's a demon called Eliagap. So there's an angel, or at least a spirit here called Eliagaphatel. Interesting. Dabriel, Jarescu, Nachiel, Nalapa, Taptharat. Okay. Taptharat, Abak, Aberirim, Diomidas. I like that. Diomidas. Tugam, Stephoth, Vehuel. Yeah, there's a lot. I'm not going to name all of these, but there's quite a few spirits that are listed in the Key of Solomon for one to attempt to reach out and get in touch with. All right. So let's go ahead and talk about the text here. Let's see what you guys are talking about. Thought long form keywords are better. Druids do that. They do the Hollywood thing. I'm making my wand from wood, from oak. I give offerings to instead of crossroads. Interesting. What do you do with your wand? What is the science behind them? The wand is used to direct energy. It's used to direct energy within one's working, within a spell or a ritual or whatnot. And what's up, brother? What's up, Universal? Hope you're doing well. It's kind of a bit down the street. We don't have a lot of street lights in urban areas, so I use a tree instead. Oh, that's lucky you, because there's nothing but lights. As soon as the sun go down on my side down. As soon as the sun go down over here, the lights come on. Lights come on. Album coming soon. My ninja. What the? Blah, 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 blah. Maybe the gatekeepers did it, establishing their boundaries and circumstances. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Perhaps. All right. Back to the Key of Solomon. So now we're going to get into the information on the text itself. We just went over some like little facts. Now we're going to get into the information on the text itself. So the Key of Solomon is arguably the most famous and significant of all the grimoires. The first recorded mention is from 1310. Okay, so I said the 1200s. It's actually 1300s. My bad. Is from 1310 in the writings of Peter Diabano, who was Peter Diabano, the author of the Heptameron, of course, another super popular grimoire. Thanks to Joseph C. Lysiewski back in his text, Ceremonial Magic and the Power of Evocation, and Joe Peterson in his work, the Heptameron is super popular. But anyway. It was mentioned from 1310 in the writing of Peter Diabano with references to other texts, though the first surviving manuscript is from the 15th century. The number of surviving manuscripts in 8 different languages in 8 different languages hugely outweighs that of any other grimoire, demonstrating its popularity and significance. I think the only other grimoire that comes close is the Ars Notoria. I think the Ars Notoria has over 110 variants that are out there. This has over, I think, 115, 120. But the Ars Notoria is probably next, has 110. More than a third of the known manuscripts are en français, which is why I've said before, a lot of people think that you need to learn Latin or something like that to be able to translate these grimoires. That's not true. Most of the grimoires have been translated out of Latin, but they've been translated out of Latin into French or German. And so we need French and German, classical French and classical German speakers, not modern. Classical French, classical German, which I don't speak classical, so I can't. I only speak modern French, and I'm learning modern German, but I can't help with the classical stuff. Yeah, those are the languages that are needed, and in some cases Portuguese. But anyway, and several of the editions of the Key of Solomon have been published in French. Despite this, and just another aside, that's also why France was able to have the Bibliothèque Bleue sort of phase during the 1800s, I think it was. That's how, because most of the grimoires were translated out of Latin into French. And Germany also had a nice little thing going on, but France probably takes the cake. That's why they were able to do the Bibliothèque Bleue. Where was I? Despite this, in recent decades, most attention has been paid to MacGregor Mather's edition, which I'm sure everybody has. I have my copy up there, of the Key of Solomon in 1889, which was cut and pasted from 7 manuscripts in the British Library. This edition is flawed by the prejudices of Mathers in what he chose to include, a situation which has been rectified in the more recent editions produced by Joseph H. Peterson, who's this guy here, the guy whose website we're on. This is his site, Joe H. Peterson. Stephen Skinner, we all love Stephen Skinner. We read from his Techniques of Greco-Egyptian Magic all the time. And myself not being me, myself being David Rankine, who wrote the Grimoire Encyclopedia and is now the lead editor or head editor at Hadean Press, the publishing company that produced this text here. Let's see. Wand, Azaluth, Cup, Bria, Sword, Yetzirah, Disc, Asaya. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know how they would correspond to Kabbalah, since I don't study Kabbalah. Mystic, your French sounds great. Ah, ouais, merci. Merci beaucoup. Je parle le français en école. I see. So where is Adam Kadmon in this equation? I have no idea. I don't believe Adam Kadmon had anything to do with any grimoires. We're talking about the grimoires, which appeared 12th century onwards. Country album coming soon. Mystical Rebel. Listen, y'all want me to do a country album? I think I can do a country album. I think I can do a country accent. I think down here, no matter where you are, where you're from, you're always welcome right here in Clark County, Mason, Texas. And if I had a hat, I'd tip my hat, because as we do down here in Texas, we tip them hats. Everything bigger down here in Texas. And then I would sing a song, but I don't know any country songs like that. So don't break my heart, my achy breaky heart. I know that. I know hello darling, nice to see you. It's been a long time. You're just as lovely as you used to be. How's your new love? Are you happy? I hope you're doing fine. There you go. That's my song. Pentacles would be 5 as in 5 worlds, no? What do you mean? If that's a Kabbalah thing, I wouldn't know. I don't study Kabbalah. No, I'm referring to the above individual on the spread. Oh, okay. Okay, my bad. Yes, an occult country album. Has anyone ever done that? Do country artists, do they do what rap artists and pop stars do? Do they play with Illuminati symbols and all that? Do they do that? Because don't most country folk follow the Lord Jesus Christ? We got Bama, we got beer, and we got Jesus. God damn it, we got Jesus. Sorry. I don't know why I always make fun of people from the South. They make the best food, right? And they got some good beaches down there, because our beaches up here are trash bag. Beaches up here is trash bag. Trash daddy. Our beaches is whack up here. B-Hall. That was impressive. Thank you. Beer, Bama, and Christ. That's all. Roll Tide. Beer, Bama, and Christ. Roll Tide. Sorry. I'm not going to make fun of Southern people no more. Sorry. What's happening, Mystical? Did you eat a lot of sugar today? No, I'm just naturally hyper. I'm just naturally hyped up. I wake up like this. My friends don't like it sometimes because I wake up ready to go. The beach in Santa Monica is Coca-Cola color. What? Santa Monica, I was at the pier, Santa Monica, a few years ago. I didn't go on the beach, though. I saw some homeless guy get beat up by some bloods. They got beat up out there. I said, nah, this is crazy. I had to get out of there. I said, y'all wilding down here in Santa Monica. And what was crazy is we just walked past a Lamborghini. Like, some guy just got out of his Lamborghini. I was like, yo, this is so cool. Somebody got knocked out right now. I'm like, nah, this is crazy. I'm out. I'm going to La Jolla or something. Santa Monica was wild. Right outside some, like, hat souvenir store. I said, nah, this is crazy. Usually you're so calm and collected. Oh, you must not be, okay, so you must have not been around for my older streams. You can ask some of the OGs. A year ago? Nah. The only reason I appear calm and collected is because TikTok used to ban me. Because I would go so crazy. And I'd get banned all the time. The ban hammer would come down on me. And TikTok tried to whip me into shape. They tried to treat me like Django. They said, yeah, Django! I was like, I'll comply. That's what happened. So that's why I seem like, calm and collected. Rebel was wilding when I first met him. Yeah. I used to go crazy back in the day. I used to be yelling at the Christians. I used to be, oh my God. And TikTok would get me. Oh. Those were the days. Those were the days. Blah, 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 blah. Wait a second. How do I, hold on, guys. How do I, what? Oh, it's right here. Okay, got it. Never mind. All right. Sorry about that. Damn, I missed out. I mean, you can go on my YouTube and find the older videos where I was wilding. And every now and then I still do wild out, but not like I used to. Nowhere near like I used to. All right. Back to the text. Let us return. Allons-y. Where did I leave off? Which was cut and pasted from 7 manuscripts in the British Library. This edition is flawed by the prejudices of Mathers, in what he chose to include a situation which has been rectified in the more recent editions produced by Joe Peterson, Stephen Skinner, and myself, which is not me, David Rankine. Also, there should be something said about that. Being that almost all of these grimoires were translated out of Latin into French or German or something like that, we cannot assume that all the translators translated properly and that they did not include their own biases, right? As we can see here what happened with the Key of Solomon. That's the only reason there are all these different variations of the Key of Solomon, right? There's translation errors and people are entering in their own biases. So a lot of times we see from the satanic community, from the Luciferian community, from the demonolatry community, that the grimoires are full of blinds. They're full of mistakes. Some say that these mistakes are intentional. Others say that they're just mistakes, but nonetheless, they're there and they confuse people and it causes the work not to work. The issue with that is that that's just factually not true. Are there some grimoires out there that do have blinds intentionally? Yes, there are some grimoires out there that do that. For example, we read in the 3 books of occult philosophy, book 3, a couple chapters ago. Was it book 2? No, it was book 3. Where we read about the use of certain incenses. And one of them was sulfur. Well, I hope anybody with a brain would never make a sulfur incense, right? You're not going to survive, right? I mean, unless you happen to be outside or something like that. Other than that, you light that in your house, you might not be around in the next 10 minutes. So that is a blind, right? That is an intentional blind for people to understand correspondences and be able to make the proper substitution. So some rando can't contact these spirits, right? So there are cases where that's the case. But in totality, no. 3, maybe 5 have that issue. The rest of the hundreds of thousands of grimoires that are out there, no. That's not the issue. The issue is copyist or translation errors. That's the issue. Or people who are, maybe they're good translators, but they don't know anything about magic. Right? And so, like, for example, when Cosimo de' Medici had Giordano Bruno, geez, I was going to forget his name, translate the first copy of the Corpus, the Corpus Hermeticum, right? Giordano Bruno was at that time not necessarily a Hermeticist. So now we have different versions of the Corpus, right? So translation error, copyist errors, and people putting in their own biases. This is what causes a lot of these flaws and errors within the grimoires, not intentional blinds. I promise you, up until the Bibliothèque Bleue era, most of these grimoires, I promise you, the original authors never intended for you and me to be able to read these. They never thought, they couldn't dream it. I don't care how much magic you got, you couldn't dream something like this happening. That a bunch of random people of varying skill and ability, some who are in here may have zero interest in the occult. They just hear me say something about it and they're like, oh, what's this guy talking about? I promise you, the authors of these texts never intended for this to happen. So these books were never meant to be passed around to the masses. It wasn't until the Bibliothèque Bleue that started happening. Most of these books only existed in private collections. And those private collections were priests and other wealthy people. Continuing. The many manuscripts of the Key of Solomon can be divided into 4 families based on their content. There's the Abraham Colorno family, divided into 2 books each of at least 17 chapters. The Universal Treatise family, divided into 4 books, commonly having 6 chapters in Book 1 and 10 chapters in Book 3. This is a major source for the Grimorium Verum. Everyone knows the Verum is a super popular grimoire. Both Joe Peterson, the guy whose site we're on right now, translated the Verum as well, which I have his version right up there. And Jake Stratton Kent in his Encyclopedia Goetica, or the True Grimoire Book 1, gave probably the best version of the Verum that we have. There's nothing wrong with Joe Peterson's, but Joe Peterson's is more of a scholarly version that you can use. Jake Stratton Kent's is more of a practitioner's version that has some scholarly additions. So, the Abagnazar family, which contains at least 30 chapters drawn from the other 3 families with additional material. These 4 families may be further subdivided into 13 text groups. That's how many of the Key of Solomon there is. This idea was proposed and documented by Robert Mathiasen and expanded upon by Stephen Skinner and myself, meaning David Rankine, in The Veritable Key of Solomon, which I think that's on here. Wait, I think I'm too far down. Yeah, right here. This is the, see, Rabbi Abagnazar. That's the Abagnazar family. Right here. And if you're interested in the scholarly stuff, you can visit the Lansdowne. It's in the Lansdowne manuscript, wherever that collection is held. I think it's the British Museum, but I could be wrong. Wherever Lansdowne is held, it's Lansdowne manuscript, because that's what that is. For those who don't know, this is not like the person who currently owns the book. This is the collection that these tablets and scrolls are kept in a museum. So it's the Lansdowne Manuscript Collection 1203. So that's what that is. And then if you don't see that, if you just see this, that's just the year. That's just the year that it came out. But if you see like a name before it, that's usually the manuscript collection. And then manuscript like this over here, the Chaldean Oracles, That's the Stanley collection. So on and so forth. Y'all get it. Okay. This does not include groups for the Hygromanteia or the Sefer Mafteia Shlomo, which have their own subchapters in this book as independent works. The Rabbi Solomon family text begins with instructions on the circle construction, which is drawn from the Heptameron. And let me see if I can get us a Heptameron circle. I think, actually, no, let me go back to recent. I think it should be under recent. I think I pulled it up recently. Yep, right here. Whenever you are ready, Google Drive. You know what? All right. That's not Heptameron. 1 second, guys. We'll find a Heptameron circle. That's the Pope Honorius circle. So y'all can see that's the key of knowledge. That's evidential culture. 3 books of occult philosophy. Goetia. That's Pope Honorius 2. Here we go. Heptameron circle. This is the circle from the Heptameron. And most likely you guys will know this circle. If you've been around Grimoire traditional circles, this circle would be probably the most, outside of the Goetia circle, this is probably the most popular circle that people know about. So yeah, what's the website again, Rebel? This site over here, this is Esoteric Archives. Here, let me just put it in the chat for you guys. This is Esoteric Archives. Oops. There you go. EsotericArchives.com. This is owned by Joe Peterson, who is both a practitioner and a scholar of magic. But yeah. This is the circle for the Heptameron. So it says that the text begins with instructions on the circle construction drawn from the Heptameron, which is this circle here. It is the only text family which contains material from the Heptameron in it. The 22 chapters are, and I'm not going to go through these. It's a lot, and honestly, it's kind of boring. It's just planetary hours, positions of the moon, the different perfumes. If you've opened up a grimoire, you know. The different clothes you got to wear, blah, 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 all that good stuff. But this is the circle that is being talked about here. It talks about magical rings being used in the Kabbalistic style. And all that good stuff. And then the Abraham Colorno family is divided into 4 books on the cover. However, the content is set into 2 books. Book 1 has 9 chapters with up to 13 additional chapters being included in other manuscripts. And I'm not going to read all those chapters. But yeah, if you're interested in the Key of Solomon, you can obviously get a copy of the Key of Solomon available on Amazon for $13-14. I still have mine from back when I was 15. So you want to get the Key of Solomon itself. You can also get the Clavis, or the Key to the Magick of Solomon, by Joe Peterson, the guy that owns this site. I think that actually might be on here. I don't know if it's this one here or not. You can also get the complete book of magic science. You can get the veritable Key of Solomon, which is right here. Or you can get the Clavis, or Key to Unlock the Mysteries of Magic. These are all by Stephen Skinner, David Rankine, Joe Peterson, and Daniel Clark. And so that is the Key of Solomon. What's up, Dirt Rug? What's going on? Hope you're doing well. Right? And all right. I guess I got to show you my physical copy, because I wanted to open it, but I don't think I have any Keys of Solomon in PDF form. I don't think I have any. Yeah, I only have physical copies. A lot of books with the word key in it. Jesus Christ. Well, this is the key to Solomon's Key. It's not really. Well, here's Jake Stratton-Kent's version of the Virum, the True Grimoire. This one right here. But yeah, I don't have a. And here's the Elucidation of Necromancy, which is a elucidation on the Heptameron. Yeah, it looks like I don't have a Key of Solomon PDF. Yeah, no. All right, so I'll have to show you my physical copy right here. So, Key of Solomon, the Key of Solomon the King, and also, maybe it's on my other shelf. Yeah, so you got this, the Key of Solomon the King, or the Clavicula Salomonis. And you've got the Greater Key of Solomon. And then, you know, of course, everyone's aware of this one, right? The Lesser Key, or the Goetia, which is the one produced by Samuel Adele McGregor Mathers. And of course, contains his biases, and that's the same as this one, Samuel Adele McGregor Mathers. So that's what you want to get if you're interested in the Key of Solomon. This one is by Victor Shaw. This is not by Mathers. This is by Victor Shaw. So the greater Key of Solomon. So if you're interested in the Solomonic cycle, that's what you want to get. Anyone use the torrent tracker Occult BZ back in the day? I've used it a few times. I remember all kinds of torrent stuff from back. I remember Azirius. I remember uTorrent. I would use uTorrent and Azirius before Azirius kind of went, the other way. And uTorrent and what I used, like the Pirate Bay and BitTorrent and all that other stuff. Internet was a different beast back in the day. All right. What's another grimoire you guys want to look into? There's 150 grimoires in here, so chances are it'll be in here. What's another grimoire you guys want to look at? And we'll find its entry here in the encyclopedia. De Nigromancia, attributed to Roger Bacon, but he did not write De Nigromancia. Never heard of those. The Herpentil texts. What's this? This must be the 3 books. Yeah, 3 books. What's the website? For what? For what website? What are you? The Cambridge Books of Magick. Le Livre des Espérites. Les ruses ou démonologie de la Renaissance et leur ancêtre médieux. Ah, interesting. Any grimoires in particular? Any specific grimoires you guys want to look into? The Secret of Secrets. Ah, the Book of Oberon. The Book of Oberon. The Greek Magical Papyri. I think I know what page that's on by heart. Yes, right here, page 42. The Greek magical papyri, the Papyri Grecque Magique, or the PGM. Which, is the Greek magical papyri on here? I don't think so. I think this is only grimoires. Yeah, alright, so then we'll have to... Oh, that's my video. I always do that. I always think the video is the book. There, jeez. All right, the Greek magical papyri. 2nd century BCE to 7th century CE is the date range, right? So right around the start of where we can find the first writings of Hermeticism, because that's from 1st to 4th century BCE. This started 2nd century BCE. Its languages: Greek, Demotic, not demonic, Demotic, which was a language in Middle Egypt, and Coptic, which is the official Egyptian, writing and language thing. Its influences are Babylonian, Christian, Egyptian, Gnostic, Greek, and Jewish elements are syncretized throughout the text. The Book of the Dead, the Testament of Solomon, the Odyssey, and the Iliad are all major influences on the Greek magical papyri. Any information on mirrors in the... Well, not in here. This wouldn't have anything on mirrors or correlating to any... This just tells you about what the text is about and what are some of the things that might be inside of it. For stuff like that, Issa, you might want to go to Stephen Skinner's Techniques of Greco-Egyptian Magic. That might be a better option for that sort of specific stuff. Its provenance is part of the Chaldean wizard horde obtained by Jean d'Anastasie, who lived in 1780 to 1857. And then there's a shit ton of manuscripts. I'm not going to even try. All this. Yeah, good luck. I'm not even going to try with all that. But, yeah. So there's a bunch of manuscripts. There's no circle listed. Or no official circle. I'm sure there might be a few spells or whatever that say draw a circle on the ground. But there's no official circle listed. The tools. A censer for incense. An ebony staff. So a staff made of ebony. Garments. A knife. Lamps. Linen garments. So I guess the other garments are supposed to be of a different material. Linen garments. Phylacteries, which are talismans. They're not Dungeons and Dragons where you... a crystal that you put your soul in. This isn't a video game. Real phylacteries are talismans. Rings, sandals, the sword, the tripod, and wreaths. And some of the spirits that are worked with, I'm not going to read all because it's a lot. But Apollo, Amun, Anubis, Helios, Mithras, Jesus, Hermes, Hecate, Osiris Ra. Oh, wow. What is that? Orgogorgoniotrion. Orgogorgoniotrion. Wow. That's a name. Soriel, Zeus, Io, Zen, Helios. Okay. Wet. Typhon. Rumbuthiel. Orso Nebokis. Nebo Tu Sulaeth. Na Brishot. Toth. Tikianades. And this is the last one I'm going to say. Zeburathunanin. Great. Wonderful. The gang's all here. All right. So the Greek magical papyri are an incredibly important collection of texts that provide a key surviving example of the types of magic practiced in antiquity. Most texts from this period were suppressed, and destroyed. So the material collected in the PGM is invaluable in demonstrating the continuity of practice over a period of 8 or 9 centuries. So this is the importance, or this is showing the importance of why foundation is key, right? Why you should be able to go back and see how people in the past did things so you can keep a track, right? Continuity. You can see how it changed and why it changed over time to get to where it is currently, wherever that or a practice exists in the world. Where did I stop? Okay, 8 or 9 centuries. Examining the contents of the Greek magical papyri, it is evident that human nature does not change that much. There's nothing new under the sun. Humans have been the same yesterday, today, and will be forever. The way we go about things, or the way we react to problems, for example, survival has always been a factor for human nature. Back then, survival was getting away from the lions or not getting found by the bears and the wolves and the tigers. That was survival. We don't got to worry about that. Most of us don't got to worry about that. Now survival is, can I pay my rent? Is my car going to get paid? Is the light bill going to get paid? Right? Can I put food on the table for me and my kids? But survival is still the thing, right? Humans have not changed. And what this is talking about is the things that humans would have done magic for back in ancient times are things people are still doing magic for right now. It has not changed. Love, wealth, health, protection, and other. Other is like curses, weather magic, glamourese, blah, blah, blah. Hasn't changed. Same thing. And the themes are similar to those seen in the later grimoires. By far the most common objective is love rites of attraction, followed by healing and health rites. Divination methods and dream revelations/sending, are common themes. Bowl and lamp particularly so. Amulets and talismans are also common, often as phylacteries. They're not soul things, they're talismans. There is significant interaction with the dead, especially for deficciones, which are curse tablets, as well as with the divine, seen in invocations and rites for a god's arrival. You may refer to my video where I shit all over conspiracy theorists who go, oh, celebrities are covering their eye, oh, it means that they're Illuminati, they sold their soul. That's not what it means, right? If we look into the scholarly work of Peter Mark Adams, as written out in his Game of Saturn, on his card, on the tarot deck, Solabusca, the Lempio card has the figure covering his eye. And the reason, as it states in the Greek magical papyri, and as they did during the Medici's time, because that's where the deck comes from, 14th century Ferrara, Italy, when the Dieste family ruled, and they were friends with the Medicis, who had the Corpus Hermeticum translated, which means they were familiar with Hermetic philosophy, religion, theology, of which the Greek magical papyri falls under the technical side. Magic, part of the technical Hermetica. We only know this because it was translated by Giordano Bruno, who was paid by Cosimo de' Medici. And so according to the PGM, when someone's covering their eye, it's because they are showing respect to a deity, a god, arriving. Not because they sold their soul. Not because they got their butt popped in Hollywood. Okay? Stop. Not to say that people don't get their butts popped in Hollywood, but it's nothing to do with your soul or the covering of your eye. Okay? So, continuing. A number of the PGM contains quotes from Homer's his Iliad and his Odyssey, in a similar manner to that later seen with biblical quotes in the grimoires. Hexameter verse is a common feature in the charms, and there's also a number of histriolae spread throughout the text, most commonly from Egyptian myths. As Judge notes, 1987 340. I don't know what that is. What is that? What is 1987 340? I don't know what that is. But anyway, that's the part of the Greek magical papyri that it's in. Okay. Practitioners of magic aim to harness their ends to harness to their ends every known source of supernatural power. Considering this, the spirits include Egyptian, Greek, Sumerian, and Gnostic gods and goddesses, Jewish divine names and angels and assorted daemons. Of these, the most common are the Greek deities, Helios, Hermes, Zeus, Selene, and Hecate, and the Egyptian gods Anubis, Horus, Isis, Osiris, Seth, Thoth, and Typhon. I thought Typhon was a female. I thought that was a goddess. But anyway, unless she's mixed with Set, then it's Set Typhon. That's a male. But I thought Typhon was a goddess. But anyway, it's not important. As well as the Gnostic Abraxas. There are also a range of composite deities synchronizing two or more gods or goddesses. As I said earlier, Set Typhon. But the example here is the deity archangel syncretism Osiris Michael. So they fuse the god Osiris with the angel Michael, which is interesting because then that makes me wonder, since he's an angel in Christian and Jewish and Islamic lore, prior to that, when he was in the Chaldean mythos, he was worshipped as almost a god, like a demigod. So I wonder if in the Greek magical papyri, that's what they're going with, because Osiris and Michael on the surface don't have any connection to each other. It should be more maybe Ra and Michael. Osiris is the lord of the underworld. Michael is a solar being. So unless you're doing a dichotomy, unless there's that night and day type of a thing, dark and evil, light and evil, or, good and bad, whatever, they're probably going with Michael from his Chaldean myths, which I'm not really super familiar with. So I wonder if that's the case here. Anyway, the London Leyden Papyrus is one work which was ripped into two, and each part ended up in a different museum. Purchased in Thebes by Anastasi in the early 19th century, he sold one part to the Dutch government, and the other part was brought later for the British Museum. Most of these are probably going to be found in the British Museum. And I think that's the biggest museum in the world, I think. I could be wrong on that. But at least when it comes to like Egyptian stuff. But anyway, it is a significant work as it is the one of the latest Egyptian magical papyri written in Demotic Egyptian. And it is found as the Greek Demonic papyri. What number is that? 24. That's 24. No, 14. That's 14. Excuse me. It is also significant because several of the Greek glosses in it made it one of the texts which helped the deciphering of a number of hieroglyphs. The material in the Greek magical papyri is a collection of magical handbooks, a collection of spells and prayers, and individual spells, charms, and prayers. Well, that's the same thing you just said. The text contains Greek Magical Papyri 1 is a magical handbook, which is a right for acquiring an assistant daemon, or the what do they call it? A paradros or a parados or parados or something like that. I don't think it's going to tell us in here. No. All right. Well, I think it's called a parados. I think if we were... Hold on. We're here. I think it's called a parados. Where is the table of... Here we go. This is not a table of contents. Like, what is this? All right. Anyway. It just says an assistant daemon, but I know there's a title that they give it. Let me just go to it. Oh my God, bro. When does the book start? There we go. Jesus Christ. All right. Can we get out of the introduction? Thank you. Finally, page 59. We're finally in the book. It just says assistant in here. I'm confident Paradros is the title. All right, it doesn't say it. Yeah, it doesn't say it, but I'm confident it is a Parados. All right, whatever. I don't see it. All right. Where did I leave off? Where's that magical handbook? Right here. For acquiring an assistant daemon includes two vowels. Schwindeschema? Oh, okay. A Schwindeschema is a disappearing pattern. Refers to an inverted triangle which reduces the number of letters from the original word down to a single letter. Oh, the that thing right there. On the screen, this right here. Oh, okay. I didn't know that had an actual. It's called a swing, a Schwinden schema, a Schwinde schema. Okay. Anyway, one of them inverted. The spell of Nuthis, and the prayer of deliverance, an invisibility spell, a memory spell, another invisibility spell, an Apollonian invocation, and then it moves into Magical Handbook 2, which has a spell for another revelation, another Skinden Swimmer for Santalala, which is a headless figure wielding a laurel sprig and a wand. And then, Book 3 has, I don't think I should say this out loud, but yeah, it has that ritual, an oracular request, a foreknowledge charm, a memory spell, horoscopes, more memory spells, more foreknowledge to detect a thief, more thieves, and a spell to establish a relationship with Helios, to control your shadow, and a direct vision from a god. And then Book 4 has revelations and initiation, phylacteries, divinations, and looks like the rest of the books also include the same, just with different deities like Jesus, Osiris, Kronos, P. Beckus, I don't know who that is, or Pi Beckus, Pibachus, I don't know how to say that. There's a dice divination from Homer, binding love spells, there's even a spell to make drunks look like they have donkey snouts. Interesting. You can get an Epiphany of Korra, which is probably from the Core Cosmo. Yeah, and a bunch more divinations, initiations, fetching spells, love spells, so on and so forth. There's quite a bit of the same type of spells in the Greek magical papyri. There's a bunch of Voki's Magick, charms for victory, for possession, for favor. Interesting. Oh, and here's the image of that headless figure holding the wand. That's the headless figure holding the wand. Very interesting. Soteria is the savior. Epithets. Some of the Titan deities like Zeus and Hecate have those. Interesting. I did not know that. Thank you for the knowledge. All right. So that is the PGM. That is the Greek magical papyri. Let me check something really quickly. Move that over here. No, it's not this one. Is it on this one then? All right, maybe it's over here. One second, guys. There we go. Okay, got it. All right. Sorry about that. You don't live in Dallas, do you? No, I don't live in the South. I do not live in the South. We Yankees. We Yanks. We Yanks up here. All right. Let's do one more Grimoire. What's another Grimoire y'all want to do? Let's do uno mas. What's another Grimoire y'all would like to look into? I'm working late, 'cause I'm a singer. There's quite a few. Any text that you guys are interested in looking at? You don't know there's too many? Yeah. Well, I'll just close her and I'll open her to a random page and we'll just do that one. Whatever she opens up to. That's what we'll do. So let's see. Let her open naturally. Okay. Open up. Fall open. What is this? What book is this? No, we talked about this one the other day. All right. Let me do another one. What's this? I don't want to do that one. let's do another one. What is this? No, this is the 3 books. All right, we'll do this one. The Key of Necromancy. We'll do the Key of Necromancy. Come into focus. There, the Key of Necromancy. I know there's many. That's it. You and Venom got me busy reading. Well, good. Study is important. Of course, also practice. Oh, the Black Dragon. Okay, you want to do the Black Dragon. All right, well, let's do the Key, and then we'll do the Black Dragon. We'll do the Black Dragon as the last one. Thank you, Outside Intention. So let's do the Key first, since I already opened it to this one, and then we'll do the Black Dragon. The Black Dragon should be actually right around here. It should be right around the Key. When's the Key? Oh, no. Yeah, it should be right around the Key. They both came out around the same time. It's actually probably right around here somewhere when I find it. But all right, let's do the Key, then we'll do the Black Dragon. So the Key of Necromancy, which I don't have. I have Necromancy in the Medicis again. Necromancy in the Medici Library. I have that grimoire, but not the Key of Necromancy. All right, anyway. Publication date, 1609 to the early 18th century. So, not really sure. The languages are German with some Latin. Its influences are the Heptameron, the Key of Solomon, the Stenographia, which is a Trithemian text. And I believe it's on cryptography. Actually, we're right here. It's available right here. The Stenographia, book 1. I think this is cryptography. Yeah, so on the surface, it's a system of angel magic, but within is a highly sophisticated system of cryptography. Yeah. And I think this also plays out into why, like, a lot of people think John Dee was doing this. Because, yeah, he did work for the Queen and all that other stuff, but I don't think he was a spy. But, I don't know, whatever. It doesn't matter. Okay. The Stenographia, the Munich Handbook of Necromancy, and the Arbitel of Magic. So, who wrote it? The provenances. I'm not so good at German yet, but Negromantisches Kunstbuch was published in 1743 by Peter Hammer. Der Schuschel von der Zwang, der Hollen oder die Besorgen und der Prosi des Dr. Johannes Fauste von der Orphes Particerterken Glottisken Zarbelkunst ek Onigilabulus. Why don't you give us the English title? There's no translation for that. You're just going to give me that. Okay. That, whatever that means, was published in 1609, and Experimentier Buch was early. Okay, so I guess the key of necromancy contains all of these German texts. So that's why they put it 1609 to 18th century. I guess it contains all of them. And this particular collection is held at Cornell University. So it's in the Cornell collection, 4620 BD. I actually don't know what BD means. And then if you do want it from a museum, you can get manuscript 19, which is just, although manuscript 19 is just Experimental Buch. Is there a circle? Yes, there is a circle. The tools are the penknife, the quill, the spear, the sword, and the wonder rod. I don't know what a wonder rod is. I'm guessing it's a rod that works wonders. The spirit list is a lot shorter than the other ones we've seen. It's just this paragraph here, a pretty big paragraph, but usually we see a whole page, and all this other page is usually spirits. It's just what's in here. So I'll read a couple of them. I have a question. Have you ever gotten an immediate result after completing a ritual? An immediate result? No. I've had quick results, like within a day or two, but nothing like I did a spell for money, and then as soon as I say, and mote it be, or, whatever I end my spells with, then my phone rings and it's my long lost cousin from 25 years ago who owed me $1,000 and he's paying it back. No, nothing like that. But I've had things happen in a short period of time, like a day or two, a week or something like that. Most of my spells do take a few weeks to manifest, because I don't ask for little things, and I try to ask for actual change. So those things take some time, but yeah. Most things happen within 24 hours to 7 days for me. Yeah. Excellent input, Issa. Thank you. And excellent question. All right, so some of the spirits. There's not many, so I'll just go through a few here. Abalon. Abba. Interesting. Abba means father in Hebrew. And they're talking about God, not like your church father. Like God the Father. Abba means father in Hebrew. Interesting. Anyway, Alenanat, Ariel, Asmodeus, Azazel, Aziel, Barbaros, Cabriel, Berith, Bethor, we know Bethor from the Arbitel. Och, we know Och from the Arbitel. Are the Olympic spirits in here? Who else is there? Haggith. Yup, Haggith is in here. Okay, I guess the Olympic spirits are in here. Let's see. Who else we got? Satan is mentioned in here. Tranquinus is in here. Timon. Aegon. I'm familiar with Aegon or Aegim, however you want to say it. The Cherub as a Carnifex, interesting. He's a demon. But Cherub, not the cherubs or the cherubim, just Cherub, as in there's a spirit named Cherub. Interesting. Carmuth, interesting. Gabinet, I'm familiar with most of these spirits. Pussy, not even lying. Puhsy. How do you say that? What am I supposed to say that? I think that's only one way to say that. Ononius, Oriens, I'm very familiar with Oriens, Mikael, Maimonethabe. Interesting. I don't know who that is. So yeah, that's some of the spirits that are in here. It's Puhsy. Like, what is that? Like, what am I supposed to say that? So, all right, the text. And it's quite short. It's just this paragraph down here at the bottom, and then this over here. And then we'll move into the Black Dragon. This work contains material from 3 different texts. So as I was saying, from 3 different texts. And I'm not going to read them all again, but So down here he translates them. Okay, so the Book of the Necromantic Art, the Key of the Coercion of Hell, or Dr. Johannes Faust's Conjuration and Process of the Commonly Practiced Divine. I actually have that. Um, how you spell coercion? Yeah, like that, right? Coercion. Right here. Or we'll do this one. The Threefold Coercion of Hell. I'm so surprised that this guy translated it. I don't know if you know who this guy is, Carl Hans Wells. He was a pseudo. Well, I don't know if he was actually a scientist for real, but I know he sold a lot of pseudoscience stuff. He sold a lot of those radionic healing devices that you buy for hundreds of dollars, and you put a piece of your hair on it, and it's supposed to send you light energy and stuff like that. So it's interesting. I mean, he is German, and this is a popular, like the Faustian stuff is probably the most popular of the Germanic. It's one of the most popular of the Germanic grimoires. So it's not interesting that he knew about it. I'm sure most Germans know about it as like a legend or something like that. But the fact that he translated it is interesting to me. Through the Knights of Runes. Interesting. But anyway, I'm trying to summon every Friday night. I couldn't take that invocation seriously. I'd be submitted on the spot. Look. Whenever PUHSY is involved in a ritual, you know it's going to be a good time. All right. So the Threefold Coercion of Hell, and the Book of Experiments. These texts are interesting in presenting variations of practices found elsewhere, demonstrating the diversity of the grimoires. They also, like many works, contain gems which should be noted and used in practice. Volume 1 contains 11 chapters. These are, I guess I'll read these, it's not that much. Dealing with the consecration of the book, dealing with the consecration of the tools, dealing with the Wonder Rod, here's what a Wonder Rod is. A forked hazel rod. Okay. Oh, so that's kind of like the Black Dragon. The Black Dragon, it doesn't require it. It's called the Mysterious Stang. It doesn't require it, though. But if you plan on giving things to the spirit or taking things from the spirit in a physical evocation, you would use the Stang to do that. Dealing with the Ring of Solomon, which is and shall be used for necromancy. Dealing with the Crown of Solomon. Dealing with the Sigils of Solomon, or how to accomplish a beautiful work. Dealing with the process of conjuration, with which all and each of the spirits are and must be called, as well as the conjuration, and how as one is to prepare for them. The prayer to be spoken following the creation of the circle, and the license to depart. Dealing with the right practice or use of the necromantic art, and how and in what manner, as well as what times it is to be performed or not, including tables of planetary hours of the week and sigils for the days of the week. The spirits of the necromantic art. For days of the week, the 3 rulers, the 4 kings, spirits of the 4 elements, the 7 evil spirits, the 8 prince spirits, and a number of others. Dealing with the circles and imprisonment of spirits, 4 magic circles, and the process of conjuration. Volume 2 contains 12 chapters. These are Introduction or Useful Information. Here follows a strong and powerful conjuration and instructions on the means to summon spirits, kings and their subordinate princes. 2, here follows a conjuration of the aforementioned spirits and an instruction on how to make the circle. 3, a proved experiment on how to raise a treasure. 4, a conjuration for the spirit Warren. 5, the art of Neroni over the spirit Ramesia. 6, a collection of nice remarks from Cornelius Agrippa's occult philosophy. 7, the preparation of the Signalocorum, taken from 10 wonderful experiments. 8, an instruction for those who intend to raise hidden treasures. 9, short and true report on the 7 highest and noble princes, which is an excerpt from the Arbitel. 10, deals with the art of mining and treasure hunting. 11 deals with the various experiments, such as an experiment of the spirit Sibylla, or Sibylla. If you are familiar with the Book of Oberon, you would know of Sybil as a spirit, not as like the Sibylline oracles. A beautiful experiment to have to have a spirit in a crystal. A particular experiment to bring good spirits into a glass. The figure of Solomon. An experiment to have 3 spirits bring gold. And another beautiful practice for the conjuring of 8 spirits. So that is the key to necromancy. All right, let's do the Black Dragon. Let me go to the table of contents and see where the Black Dragon is. It should be right around with the 16th century. Oh, no, it's towards the end. Okay, so what is that, 17th century? I didn't even see the page. What did it say, 218, I think it said? Say 218? Let me go back to 281. I got it swapped out. 281. All right. The Black Dragon, 1887. Le véritable dragon noir. Publication date, 1887. Quel langage? Le français. Influences, Heptameron, the Grimoire of Pope Honorius, and the Grimorium Verum. Published in French in 1887. Manuscripts, none. Circle, yes. And the reason there's no manuscripts is because this came from Bibliothèque Bleue in France, which is essentially a bunch of publishers just published a bunch of grimoires and would literally go door to door trying to sell them. So no need for a manuscript when we can probably go back and find someone with an original book of the Black Dragon. Circle, yes, although it doesn't have instructions for the circle. It literally says just to assemble the circle according to all the rules of the art. There is no instruction. The tools, the chalk, the charcoal, that's interchangeable. You don't need both the chalk and the charcoal. You can use one or the other. At least for the magic circle. For the sigils, I think you might need the chalk. But I could be wrong on that because I already have my sigil, so I don't have to make mine every time. But anyway, the knife, the lamp, the stang, like I was talking about earlier, the little stick with the fork, and the table. The spirit list, probably the shortest we're going to find. Spirit list. There's only 11 spirits that you call here. The 7, or the 4, and then the 7. The 4 to get permission to conjure the 7, then you conjure the 7. When all 11 are present, then they are supposed to initiate you, which I can't talk about. You need to go through that yourself. The spirits are Acham, Amamen, Astareth, Belthazard, Bayman, Bechard, Cassiel, Ejim, Furley, Freemost, Gaspard, Gulan, Early, Lucifer, Magoa, Melchior, Silchard, Surgot, and Turley. However, you're not going to work with all of those. A lot of these are spirits that are called in spells and stuff. In the evocation, you're only calling Amamen, Astareth, Bayman, Bechard, Ejim, Freemos, Gulan, Lucifer, Magoa, Silchard, and Surgot. Those are the 11. Everyone else is from a spell in the back of the text. For the Black Dragon. The back technically is the Enchiridion in my version. But, all right. The text. Or, you know what? Before I show you the text, let me show you the circle for the demon Freemost. That's Freemost's circle. Now, it says that the Heptameron is an inspiration. I think the Heptameron is an inspiration due to the circles. Not these specific circles themselves, how they're done. It doesn't say it in the text, but it makes it, the way it's written, it makes it seem like whatever spirit you're going to be summoning that day, you need to use their sigil as a circle. I forget what other grimoire we see that in. I want to say Honorius, but I could be wrong there. We only see that in one other grimoire. And the Heptameron changes your circle by the day. The reason that the Black Dragon may be connected to the Heptameron is because you summon, and so there's 7 days in a week, right? So obviously there's 7 separate circles in the Heptameron. The Black Dragon has you summon each of the 7 daily kings on their own each day. And if you're supposed to use their circle, that would mean every day the circle changes. So that's most likely why the black dragon is related to the Heptameron. Okay, the text. Le Dragon Noir, or the black dragon, is highly derivative of the Grimoire of Pope Honorius. Of the 5 parts of the Dragon Noir, the evocations, some of the spells and counterspells, the marvelous secrets, and the Hand of Glory are entirely derived from the Grimoire of Pope Honorius. The black hen is previously found in the Virum, making the Dragon Noir seem of little unique value in later content. However, the instructions in the preface are extremely lucid and well worth a study. A number of charms make use of the cemetery, which is worth mentioning. The text begins with a conjuration of the book, which I can show you because I have the black dragon. So it begins, the black dragon. So, oh my God, the black dragon starts on that page right there, the black dragon. And the very next page is the conjuration of the book. Oh, sorry, it's on this side. Conjuration of the book. And in that circle is where the spirit is supposed to put their sigil. So it starts out with the conjuration of the book. Okay, a conjuration of the book, accompanied by a cautionary note on the use of magic for personal gain. The preface discusses the practicalities of the work and begins discussing the chalk or charcoal used and how to make the right charcoal to use, which is basically you got to get it from dogwood, I believe it is, or boxwood, from a coffin from someone who was recently buried, and then you're supposed to put it on the altar during Mass at church and have it so that way it can be blessed. But that's secretive. If you're cool with a priest or whatever, or the priest doesn't care about you doing magic or whatever, or you can just lie and just say, "Hey, priest, can you bless this piece of thing for me?" And I'm sure he'll be happy just to bless it because someone asked him to bless it. Because I'm sure a lot of people other than grandmas don't do that these days. I'm confident that most people other than grandmothers go to the priest to get anything blessed. So he'll probably be happy just to bless whatever you ask him to bless. Then it discusses the importance of bathing or ritual purity, not hygiene, ritual purity. And how the magic circle should be 12 feet across and have no breaks in it. But that is the only instruction that it gives you for the circle. I'll read it to you right now. It does not give you any instruction for the magic circle. It simply says, let me see. Oh, wait, I didn't even start it yet. Okay. Okay, that's for so it's probably after that. Where is it? Oh, here we go. Before beginning any philosophical operation, take good care to purify your hands and your body. So this is the ritual bath. Then it says simply, and only this, make your circle according to all the rules of the art with a diameter of at least 12 feet and in such a way that there is no open space or gap in it, as such a breach will be a doorway for the evil spirit. Then it moves on just to say, always take holy water and a blessed branch into the circle, blah, blah, blah. It gives no instructions. But we just looked, when we were reading here, we looked, there's dozens of circles. I think in this book alone, which is a book on magic, it's called Magic Circles in the Grimoire tradition, right? In this book alone, there's 54 different magic circles. There's 54 different magic circles. So when you say assemble, make your circle according to all the rules of the art, what does that mean? Just this text alone, there's 54 circles. So do I make this circle? This is the Grand Circle of Solomon from the Grimoire of Pope Honorius. Should I make this circle? This is the master circle from the key of knowledge. Should I make this circle? Well, that's a chart. That's not a circle. That's not a circle either. That's the seal of Solomon. Here we go. Should I make this circle? What does it mean when you say assemble it to all to according to all the rules of the art? Should I make a circle from the heptameron? Should I make this circle? One of these? What does it mean to make your circle? Oh, I don't know why that one's not loading, but whatever. What does it mean? Should I do this circle? How about that? What about that circle? Right? And this is a witchcraft circle, not even found in Grimoire tradition. Right? This is from Andrew Chumbley's Azoetia, or Azoetia, however you say it. Right? So, that's why I agree with traditionalism in Grimoire tradition. I believe the Grimoires allow plug and play, which means as long as you're following tradition and you're not leaving the tradition, you're free to use any of these circles. Because they all come from Grimoire tradition, right? So, back to the text here. Where did I leave off? The circle should be 12 feet, no breaks in it. So, that's why when I use the Black Dragon, I don't even use any of these circles. I use the Trithemian table of practice. Trithemius was a magician. He wrote texts that are accepted in Grimtrad proper. Right? He's top of the list right here. Johann Trithemius. These texts are accepted in Grimtrad as Grimtrad texts. Not only that, he was the mentor of Agrippa, who is probably the number one person that people talk about when it comes to Grimtrad, other than King Solomon, who doesn't really have anything to do with Grimtrad other than by legend. So, I don't use any of these circles. I use my table of practice. But anyway, the knife and the stang are next, with detailed instructions on the use of the stang. It is noted that only the conjurer should ever speak, and that the demon should not be allowed to depart without a pledge being agreed. Meaning you shouldn't let the demon leave without you guys making a deal. And also it does state that it does state that multiple people can help you build the circle. You're allowed to have assistants or an apprentice or whatever, other priests or other witches, whatever, helping you make the circle. But only you or only the person performing the evocation should be speaking with the spirit. Everyone else should not respond. Even if the spirit talks to them, they should not respond back. Where is it? The text emphasized this must not be any body fluid or item which has been close to the body. So this is a grimoire telling you that you shouldn't be using blood and giving blood to spirits. Shouldn't be using your spit or your other bodily fluids, from lower regions and stuff like that. You shouldn't be doing any of that, right? You should, excuse me, maybe like tobacco, excuse me, or like rum or something along those lines. I think in the text, it's a coin or something, but whatever. It says, and it must be agreeable to both. So both you and the spirit need to agree on what this thing is. The importance of caution in pacts and ensuring the license to depart and prayers are spoken before leaving the circle are also stressed. Which means you should make a deal with the spirit. That's fine, but make sure that it's something that both you and the spirit agree upon. And also, you should not leave the circle or disassemble the circle until the license to depart has been stated, and the necessary prayers for protection have also been recited. More good advice is given on practice, with comments on the contents of the other sections and caution against avarice. Part 1 of the book is entitled Evocations. It begins with conjuration and the banishment, along with the pentacle from the heptameron, which actually is this right here, the one that we're looking at right now on the screen. It's actually that same one, just with a circle around it. The conjurations of the 4 kings of the directions follow, along with one for finding hidden treasure. Conjurations of the demons for the days of the week with their seals and times to perform the conjurations come next. And then it's the great exorcism. Part 2 of the book is spells and counter spells. This begins with a spell to lift a spell and summon the harm causer. So someone who put a spell on you, you can do a spell to lift that spell and then find out who that person was. To destroy evil spells, to destroy evil spells cast against animals. The sympathetic mirror spell to reflect spells and reveal their caster. A periwinkle talisman to heal. To break spells or to be used as a talisman. To take care in returning home of a person you wish to heal. To lift a spell or rid a house of demons. To destroy a spell with a black rooster. They don't use that word. They use a different word, but it's rooster. To divert a person. To ward off a bad encounter. To make a person suffer. And to immobilize and make a person suffer. Part 3 of the book is Marvelous Secrets and is drawn almost entirely from the Grimoire of Pope Honorius. They begin with the Castle of Beauty, protection for horse and sheep. Against colic, wounds, and infections of horses, in order that lambs become healthy and strong, to cure cancer or other illnesses accessible to the eyes and fingers, against burns, to recover stolen objects, to see in a vision at night what you desire to know. Someone asked me before, what is my favorite spell from the Black Dragon? That was the one. To stop a serpent, to stop a horse and carriage, a counter spell. To appear to be accompanied by many. To render oneself invisible. Garters for traveling without wearying or growing tired. To not grow weary while walking. To prevent eating at the table. To win at gambling. To win at gambling again. To win at dice, to win at gaming, to win every time on lotteries, to be loved, to make a girl come to you to make a girl come whom you find modest. That's wild. To make a girl dance nude, to not be wounded by any weapon, for going into battle against firearms, to charm firearms, and to make a weapon fail. And then part 4 deals with the hand of glory, which in this instance is a mandrake root rather than the hand of a cereal unaliver. And the process for preparing it is as described. It also includes the black hen charm, which everyone knows that. And then part 5 is orisons for different purposes. It starts with acts of grace to protect yourself from evil spirits. Then our Latin versions of prayers, such as the Pater Noster, the Ave Maria, and the Veni Creator. And then the Symbolum Apostolorum. The book ends with a table of favorable and unfavorable days. Mine doesn't. Mine moves into the Enchiridion of Pope Leo III. But then again, I have the cross keys, not just the Black Dragon. So yeah, that is the Black Dragon. My favorite grimoire. So, what is the book? Well, we're reading out of the Grimoire Encyclopedia, but we were reading on the Black Dragon, which is my favorite grimoire, which is this grimoire here. Well, technically, this grimoire is the Cross Keys, but it contains the Black Dragon. It contains 2 different texts in here, the Black Dragon and the Cross Keys. I'm sorry, and the Enchiridion. This is the Black Dragon. The Black Dragon. All right. Have you ever written with your blood? No. And I have no intention to ever do anything like that. Do you believe in fairies? Yes. You want to learn more about fairies from an occult perspective? I think I have a PDF of it. Yeah. So you'll want to look into the Book of Oberon. This right here. The Book of Oberon. That'll help you out. The Cross Keys by Michael Chittatelli is the version I have. Yep, that's the version I have. The Good Catholic edition. Cool, thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. we're done. So put that over there. Oh no. The Book of Oberon is good if you're into that type of magic. I'm not really into Elizabethan style magic. So yes, it's a good book. I find no practical usage from it. But yes, it is a good book. Yes. I've used my blood for my own sigils. That's awesome. That's awesome. But yeah, I don't plan on doing anything like that. Oh, thank you, Jungle Juice, for if you're still here. Sorry I didn't see it earlier when you may have sent it. Thank you for the 27 roses. Merci beaucoup. Fancy Pants Mystic, yeah. Yeah, and I got 3 more coming in. I got 3 more books coming in from Aeon Sophia. That'll bring my total of Aeon Sophia books to 6. Because I have Sacred Umbre Mortis here, Zakael, and Asaya Kaluxa, that says. And then I'm getting Saturn Rising. I'm getting the Clavis Inferni, which really isn't an Aeon Sophia book. That's actually an ancient grimoire that they just put in their own little binding. And I'm getting something on necromancy. I forget, but Saturn Rising on Saturnian magic and all that. Some necromantic book that I can't remember the name of, and the Clavis Inferni. So I wish I had the Good Catholic edition. Yeah, well, I got it when it first came out. So when it was first announced, I bought it. Hey, random question: do rituals in those really work? Yes, if you know how to do magic. Yes, it's not just follow these instructions and boom, it'll work. You need to know how to cast spells. You need to know how to do magic. If you know how to do magic, then yes, it'll work. And if you're not familiar how to do magic, I would say to visit my Getting Started playlist. I have videos on starting out with magic. I want Sacred Umbre Mortis. Yeah, it's actually pretty interesting, especially if you're into predatory sorcery, like assault type of magic. It's really interesting. Or if you just want a Clipothic alternative to what we normally see when it comes to magical texts. So, learning magic is easy, or do you need to be more careful? Well, you should always be careful. It's only as easy as you make it. If you don't put any effort into it, if you only try it, once a weekend or something like that, then no, it's probably not going to be easy. But if you put effort into it and you actually work at it, then yeah, it could end up being very easy. But magic in and of itself is a practice, so you have to work at it and continue working at it. It's not a one and done. It's not Doctor Strange. This isn't Sabrina or Shadowhunters or The Magicians or Charmed or Supernatural or The Boys or anything like that. So. But yeah, I think they might still have Sacred Umbre Mortis available. Aeon Sophia. What is this? I didn't think this looked good. Yeah, the Serpent Songs, the Serpent Sitter, the Lyrics of Lilith. Why can't I talk? Lyrics of Lilith, Songs of Samael, the Serpent Sitter of the Nachash El Aker. Yeah, this didn't seem interesting to me, but okay. So I bought this right here, the Cyprianus Key of Hell. I bought the Order of the Skeleton Key, I think it was. And yeah, here's a Sacred Totem right here. They got it. It's available. Yeah. 55 euros. Which is, I think like $60 something. I use XE. For my currency conversion. 55. 59. Okay, so $60 plus shipping. No, thank you. $60 plus shipping. Only thing is, it's Aeon Sophia. I mean, I know I don't want to disparage any of the small publishers, but I hate their shipping times. Like, I ordered my books last week, last Tuesday, right? Last Tuesday. I hit them on Saturday because I didn't get any updates, and I paid extra for the tracking and all that other stuff, and I didn't get any updates. So Saturday I hit him. I was like, hey, like, I bought these 3 books. Just wondering if they've been sent out because I paid for a tracking number and I didn't get anything. And he was like, yeah, I just haven't gotten to it yet. I'll do it on Monday. And I'm like, a week later, bro? A week later. That's when you're going to like do my order? Like, what? Like, so I don't know. Miskatonic isn't like that, and they're not some giant Amazon type company. So if you can find it from Miskatonic or something like that, I would go with that, or else you'll be waiting extra long for it. But yeah, they do have it. They do have it here. What magic can you do? What do you mean by that? What do you mean? What magic can I do? What does that mean? Do you mean what systems do I practice? Grimoire tradition, neo-shamanism, hoodoo, and witchcraft. I don't know by what magic. This isn't a video game. So I can't do fire magic or elemental magic and sky magic. This isn't a video game. This is real life. We're human beings bound by all the laws of physics. So we're not floating and levitating and throwing fireballs. I don't know what you mean by what magic can you do. Next order. Yes, get it. Get it next. But hold on. Let me hold on. Let me go on my... Because I feel like it wasn't the order of the skeleton key. What was it that I showed you guys that other time? Where is Aeon Sophia? Aeon Sophia. Aeon Sophia. Aeon Sophia. How far back did I order this thing? Here it is. Aeon Sophia. Whenever you're ready to open up, I'm just waiting for you. My God, dude. Now it don't even want to open up. All right. Oh my God. Technology is interesting. Aeon Sophia, here we go. All right, so I ordered Saturn Rising. Oh, so it was the order. Okay, the reason I got confused is because Saturn Rising is actually 2 books in one. They bound Saturn Rising and Into the Void together rather than 2 separate books. So I knew there was another like title in there, but so I did get the order of the Skeleton Key. I got Cyprian's Key of Hell and Saturn Rising. Those are the texts that I got. And according to, I forget his name, the guy who runs this, because it's only like 2 people. It's not like a whole team of people. It should be sent out today. And then sometime this week, I'll get my tracking information. And it's got to come from, I think they're in the UK, aren't they? I think they're in the UK, right? Well, it's in euros, so maybe not. How, like, where's the, like, about us or... and this email app still didn't open. Ridiculous. Hold on, let me do Google. Oops. Oh, normally it would like pop up with like their location, but it's not. Yeah, it's just showing their books. All right. I don't know where they are. But wherever they are, I got to wait for it to come from there. About. Well, that doesn't help. Every other publisher tells you where they are. And I always figured that they were in the UK, but maybe not. I don't know. Maybe not. All right. Do you know any private groups online for magicians? No. No. I know of a couple of forums, but no, I don't know of any private groups. Have you ever cursed someone? Yes, I've cursed people before. Can you make people crazy witch? Like, can you use witchcraft to make people go crazy? Yeah, you can use a curse to do something like that. What book did you order, Mystic? I just went over that. I just went over that. The 3 books that I ordered. Like, literally. Like, not even 2 minutes ago. I just went over that. I got this Cyprian Key to Hell. I got this book here, Order of the Skeleton Key, is coming. I like how they give you like photos of like some of the So yeah. This is I think it's like dark Gnosticism or something like that. So I got this coming. I got I don't see it here. I must have bought the last one because it was here, but last time we tried to find it, it didn't show. So I think I bought the last one. But where was and this? I bought this. I bought Cyprian's Key of Hell. This is what it looks like. And it's the manuscript version. So while there is regular writing, you know, in like the introduction and stuff, most of it is going to look like this. It's manuscript form. It's going to look like that. Right? It'll be in manuscript form. Vinculum maximum. Qui facis mirabilia magna solus. Finis coronat opus. Yeah. Looks really, really cool. Clavis inferni sirve magia alba e nigra approvata metratona. Yeah. And then the other one, I guess, is not here anymore because it's sold out. But it was it was Saturn Rising, but and it was here. It was under standard, but they don't have it anymore. I must have bought the last copy. All right, what time is it? All right, it's about almost 2 hours, so we're about to hop off of here. Sorry, I came back and left. No problem, not a problem. I never knew that these actually work. It's interesting. Yes, it's very interesting. Will you do readings with them? Probably not with the Key of Hell, because that you can't really read that, and I mean, at least not in that way. I think Stephen Skinner has a book on the clavis that goes into it a bit deeper. I think I don't have it, so. Yeah, this right here. See that same. We just saw that image, literally that same image. We just saw that same image. So, I mean, if I had this, I might, but And maybe I will buy this. Maybe after reading my version of where was it? Here we go. Maybe that was that right here. That image is that image. So maybe after reading this, maybe I'll be interested and maybe I'll get a copy of this. It's only $50, so maybe I'll grab a copy of that. Oh, there's only 11 left in stock. No, I doubt 11 people are going to buy it. So, but yeah, not with this one probably, but with the other two, yeah. Once I read them and have a good feel and understanding on what's being, talked or talked about. I was trying to say taught and talked about in the text. I can do readings on Into the Void and Saturn Rising. So I guess technically I'm getting 4 books. Just 2 of them are in 1 book. What's the other one? The Skeleton Key. So, will you be utilizing these texts in your practice, or are these more collectibles? I don't know. I don't think the Skeleton Key, because as you guys know, I'm not interested in Gnosticism as a practice. So that's probably more just for knowledge. If I do find something in the text that I can use, then I'll certainly use it. But I don't anticipate it. I don't anticipate me using the Order of the Skeleton Key. Saturn Rising, I do deal with necromancy. I mean, Ancestor Veneration, I guess, can be considered necromancy a little bit. I've got graveyard dirt and stuff like that. So I do deal with necromancy occasionally. So perhaps I'll use Saturn Rising. Into the Void, I don't know about that. I'm not really sure what even that is. So I guess when it gets here, I'll learn more. But I don't know if I'll be able to use anything from there. And obviously, I can't really... I mean, I don't know how I'd work from the clavis. This is more probably just like study material. We'll see. I'll see what these pages say, right? Like these little intro pages. I'll see what they say, and then maybe I will need to get the Stephen Skinner text. I don't know. But all right. I think that's it, guys. I think we'll call it for today's stream. I probably won't be live this evening, most likely not, but of course I'll be back tomorrow with Quinn. Tomorrow evening, I might also go live during the day tomorrow, not entirely sure, but I'll definitely be back tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, to do our live reading of the 3 Books of Occult Philosophy with Quinn. So if you guys are interested in that, please come back tomorrow, 9 p.m. But maybe I'll see you tomorrow afternoon as well. How do you protect yourself from your own curse backfiring? That shouldn't be a thing at all. The whole and it harm none, the rule of 3 and all that, that's nonsense. If that was real, the billionaires would be the most cursed people, right? Like, I mean, that's not how karma works. So you don't have to worry about it backfiring or coming back unless someone sends it back to you. If they stop your curse and they send it back to you, then that's different. But you don't have to worry about your curse backfiring or anything like that. So you should be good there. But if you are afraid of that, just protect yourself. Just set wards. Just, do a ample protection spell. But not sure if I'll be back tonight. Most likely not. But tomorrow, maybe I'll go live during the day. And if not, I'll definitely see you guys tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for our reading of the 3 Books of Occult Philosophy. So thank you all for being here. Thank you, Issa, for moderating and hanging out. Appreciate all the questions. Appreciate just hanging out with you guys. And I will talk to you guys in the next one. If you're interested in any mentorships or any readings, visit my website. I'll put the link here. Finally got my calendar fixed, so you guys should be able to book readings or one-on-one mentorships if you're interested. So yeah, I guess I will catch you guys in the next one. As always, seek the mysteries. Peace.